Good morning, guys, and welcome back. So, I've got a couple of days off from work because we're having some renovation work done in our house. We're having some laminate put in our house. So, me and the wife have booked a few days off to be here for that. We're also having our bathroom looked at to see how much it would be for a new bathroom. So, yeah, we've got to be here for the guys for that. So it's a beautiful day, and I thought I would come out this morning into the garden and do some stuff. So over the last few weeks I've been clearing stuff, prepping raised beds ready for a new growing season. So yeah, there's lots to be getting on with, and I'm going to explain what's going to be happening in a minute, and I'll come back to you guys in a minute. So I'm going to be doing some seed sowing today, and also showing you some of the trays and propagators and grow light propagators I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be showing you where some bits and pieces will go. So I've got a few raised planters that I've got stuff in already, like garlic and onions. I don't think the onions are coming up just yet, but the garlic in a couple of my raised planters is looking really strong, healthy, coming up, looks really good. As you may know, also I've got my seed potatoes in my windowsill in my house, chitting, three or four varieties of first earlies. I will be doing some other seed potatoes, probably main crop, but I won't get them just yet. But the first earlies, I'm getting them in now, giving them that good, strong, healthy chance of giving me some good chits. It doesn't matter here if you don't chit your seed potatoes, but as long as you can see the little bumps where the chit will kind of start, then you can plonk them straight in the ground when it's ready, and then you can just cover them over with horticultural fleece just to enable them to start off strong and healthily. And also, while the frosts are still about, the horticultural fleece will protect them from the first of the frosts. But as I've said, today I'm going to be seed sowing some broad beans and a few other seeds. I haven't really decided yet. I've got a few that I've already kind of took out ready that I thought I might seed sow, and then we'll talk about some of the trays that I'm going to be growing them in and starting them off in, and it's sort of seed trays that I've used for years, and some that are new. So yeah, I think the best thing is to get started, choose some of the first seeds I'm going to be showing you that I'll sow, and crack on, and then come back to you guys in a little while. Okay, so we're at my raised planter here where my Stuttgarter onion sets are going to go in. Now, Stuttgarter is a very popular variety, and it has a very sharp flavour. So in this pack I've got here, it's got 50 onion pieces or onion sets, and they advise planting out anywhere from February right through to May, and what they advise is you plant in full to kind of partial sunlight, so full to half sunlight. They also advise you plant them 6 centimeters below the soil, and then they will grow to a height roughly about 30 centimeters. And you should make sure they're about 20 centimeters apart, and you'll have hopefully onions within 4 to 5 months. So yeah, I've got 50 sets here, so I'm going to be planting some of them out. I've got the holes all ready to go, so what I'll do, start putting some in, and I'm going to take some of the best ones, just put them in just so that the top of the onion set is coming out. Any ones that don't look good, I'm not going to put in to the ground. I suppose the bigger, sort of bulkier, nicer, fatter ones I'll put in, and I'm just covering the soil around them just so you can see the tip. Don't want to go any lower than that if possible, just enough to see the tip. But these are also going to be protected from pigeons and birds, because obviously I will have my netting that will go over. But as I've said, taking out some of the best bulbs, that will give your onion sets the best chance of growing. So I've planted the first 4 in. I'll get the rest planted and then I'll come back to you in a minute. Right guys, so there we have the Stuttgarter. They're in the first 2 parts of the raised bed, the box raised bed there, and then I'm going to put something else in that last one there, maybe some more of the other onion sets that I've got in here. As you can see, these are starting to get lovely green shoots coming up, so I'm very pleased with that. I've noticed it on a few of them, so yeah, really happy. This has obviously been covered over with the green netting and those bendy poles that I did, and on this one here again, that's going to be covered over using the netting I made out of some wooden pieces, and I'll put that on top. It doesn't need watering because the compost is quite moist, so I'll get the netting over and then decide what's going to go in that final raised compartment there, and crack on and do some seed sowing. Right guys, so today I'm going to be sowing some broad bean seeds, and the variety that I'm going to be sowing is Demonica. So they're probably one of the earliest spring sown varieties, so you can sow them in between February and May and get a harvest in between June and August. I've got my potting table ready to go. The metal tray has got some beautiful compost in it, and I've just mixed some perlite in it. That will help start the germination off for the seeds. It will stop them from getting too much water. You can use vermiculite as well if you like, but yeah, I'm going to be using, I've mixed perlite in, and I'm going to be sowing some in this green propagator tray, and it's got a lid to go with it. I'll show you that in the morning. I'll show you that in a minute. So without further ado, I'll get on. I'll sow some seeds and I'll come back to you. So I've got the seed tray ready, and there's 4 little compartments that slot in, and in total it can take 20 seeds. So I'm gonna sow 20 of the broad bean demonica seeds, and see how many of them come up. And then I've got a few other seeds that I will be sowing today. So I'll get on and I'll show you it. So make sure there are 2 ways obviously to put your broad beans seed up. You've got a groovy bit at one end, and then the other bit's round. Make sure the groove bit goes up on the top, and place that nice inside. I'm only going to do 1 seed per tray, and then it will make it easier if they germinate to get them out and plant them into the garden, and then hopefully we will have some really nice broad beans. So just press them down. And then all they will need is just a small little covering of the compost over the top, and then a good watering. And also label them up so we know what variety they are. So they're all in there now, and we just need tiny little sprinkling of compost over the top. And then it would just be a case of watering them and putting the label on, putting the lid on, and then having them ready to germinate. So there we go. So I'm just going to water them, do a label, and then put the lid on, and they're ready to start germinating. So the next lot of seeds I'm going to be sowing are these giant winter leeks, and they have fine long white stems. You can sow them anywhere between January to April, and then you harvest from October through to the following March. Obviously they're a good source of vitamins A and C and potassium, and I think that's folic acid, or yeah, folic acid. But these are an excellent late maturing variety. So yeah, I'm going to be sowing these, and I'm going to be sowing these into my plastic trays here that were designed by Charles Dowding. These are from a company called Containerwise, but these ones were designed especially for Charles. Follow him on his YouTube channel, Charles Dowding. They're really good. They got some lovely holes in them to allow the roots to come through, and obviously these are a special plastic, so Containerwise will guarantee these they will last for 15 years, if not even more. So yeah, I'm going to put the giant winter leeks into these. So again, I'll get them potted up ready, and then sow the seeds in, and I'll come back to you. Right guys, so I've sown the giant winter seeds. There's 15 cells in each tray, so in each cell I've put about 4 seeds in each compartment. They can be grown as clumps, so if they do germinate, they come up, I will plant them out as they are. You can do that. Obviously, fellow YouTubers that I watch, Ben Van Heems from Grow Veg, Charles Dowding, HuwRichards, they all say they can be grown pretty much a bit like beetroot because they love to be with their mates or their friends, as they call them. So yeah, you don't have to separate them. You can just literally put them out. They will grow, and then you just gradually, as they get bigger, you can just pull them off, or you can separate them and plant them singly. So I'm just going to cover that cell tray over now with a bit of a light covering of compost, give it a water. I've got my label to go on. I've also, with this, put the date that I've sown them, and we'll see what happens, and I'll show you the end product. And there we have it guys, they're all sown. So that is the giant winter leek. I'm now going to sow some Musselburgh leeks, obviously the popular choice from growers. Yeah, I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to sow 2 more lots of seeds. The first one I'm going to sow is P. Proval. It's an early cropping, crisp, sweet pea. You have the choice of sowing from October to mid-December in year 1, and in year 2 from February to July. So I'm going to sow some now. We're in March. I'm going to sow some now. Hopefully they will germinate. I'm not going to sow very many, so I'm going to sow them in the Charles Dowding seed trays, and I'm just going to sow 15 of them and then put them on my growing shelves to hopefully start germinate. And then I'm also going to sow some parsnips. I've got an area made up ready for the parsnips in the boxed raised bed round the side of my greenhouse where I put some of the onions a few days ago. There's a little square bit remaining. What I'll do is I'll make a little trench and sow a few of the parsnip seeds in there, and then when they germinate and start coming up, I will thin them out and leave the strongest ones in there and take the weakest ones out. So yeah, I'm going to get on, sow these P. Proval, hopefully also sow the parsnips, and then once that's all done, I'll come back to you. I'll show you where I've put them on my shelf and the parsnips that I've sown, and then also I've got some fresh herbs also to put out, and I'll try and get them out as well. I'm using the herbs to stop things like the white fly, green fly, all the ones that I don't want affecting my crop. So yeah, I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Right guys, so in this raised bed in the very far corner, I've put the parsnips white gem. I've sown them thinly, sown them apart. I've got a special little gardening tool that actually makes the holes for you. What I'll do is I'll just go and grab it and I'll show you what it is. So this little contraption here, brilliant for doing carrots and parsnips and other seeds. And what I've done is I've used that to make the holes, and then I've spaced the parsnips out, and I've counted so many sort of holes along. So I've pretty much put 3 parsnip seeds, 1 hole, counted 4 along, put another 3 in, and then gone 4 along again, and I've done 3 rows, and there's about 3 parsnip seeds in each of the holes that I've done, and then I just covered it back over with the compost. So it's easier doing it that way. And then what will happen is I will take out the weakest seedlings or the weakest shoots, leave the strongest in there, and then I'm just going to cover that back over with the netting. So as you can see, that's got the parsnip seeds in that square box, and then these 2 square boxes here have got my Stuttgarter onion sets. They are starting to germinate in there, but the ones also in the raised bed this side here, they're also starting to come up, get some nice healthy green shoots on them. Again, I've spaced them apart, so hopefully I will get some nice size onions this year. I will be growing a few vegetables this year, but just deciding on what we're going to grow, because I'm going to need the space obviously to be growing them in. So I won't be putting loads out. It'll be a case of I've got a few gardening books that I look to for help, and it'll just be a case of spacing them out so I can get at least 5, maybe 6 different vegetables in each raised bed. But yeah, that's the first lot of seed sowing done, and I'll show you where we're at. So that's this square box raised bed covered back over now with the netting. As I've said, it's got the white gem parsnips in, and in the other 2 square boxes it's got the Stuttgarter onion sets. As you can see, guys, the onion sets that are in here are just starting to come out and get lovely green shoots. I've covered this over with netting, obviously, because I don't want any unwanted birds, pigeons, or any other unwanted pests getting in there. So that's all covered over, and I'll show you what it looks like now in the greenhouse. Okay guys, so there we have the Demonica broad beans sown and in the propagator tray, lid on, and we'll see, hopefully they'll germinate. It's a nice clear tray, so I should be able to see the roots taking shape. And then in the 3 trays here, I've got giant winter leeks, Musselburgh leeks, and then P. Provo, and we'll see if they germinate. And then obviously just below you can see a host of all the trays that I'm going to be using for the growing season. Lots of grow light propagator trays, so I've got the 5 small ones there and then the 2 large ones. But yeah, there we go guys, all ready to go. Right guys, that's it for another episode, but I will see you shortly for another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch over the weekend of the 8th of March. There will be lots to be getting on with there, and hopefully I'll have some other bits and pieces that I'm going to be sowing. So as always guys, thanks for watching my videos, thanks for subscribing and liking them and giving them the thumbs up, and if you know anyone else that may be interested in this sort of video or any of the other people that I follow on my YouTube channel, then please get them to subscribe. But as always guys, stay safe, and I'll see you very shortly for another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. Bye for now guys.